If That's a Thing podcast, Accent Core. It is episode .58, and it is February the 3rd, Monday. I'm Drew.
Oh, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cody. And I think we ran Jeff off for good.
I don't know. I think he's busy. Nolan would show up at I think he's going to show up at 3.
Nolan might be in before the podcast is over, everybody.
But he might not. Go follow Nolan on Twitter. Either follow Nolan or Cody on Twitter. I'm still having this issue. So whenever I put people's names in the description of the podcast, I do them from least to most Twitter followers. Cody and Nolan are tied.
So for the love of God, go follow Nolan.
Or unfollow Cody. Either or.
Ask me about my Twitter followers.
What's your Twitter followers, Drew?
I got the 3 digits, dog.
You in there?
And then I lost a follower, and then I gained a follower.
Oh, that's
still at home.
No, that's how it is. You hit the triple digits, and then you kind of go back and forth for a while, and then you hit around like the 112s, and then the joy wears off.
Because then you're looking for those 4 digits.
Oh, let me tell you, but then once you hit 4 digits, man,
then you'll be happy forever.
Then you got to start being a parasite for a much larger community.
Yeah, that's what I'm up. I'm almost to the 3,000s. I'm getting there. Then maybe I'll have 4 people watch me on. So what I think...
I don't even know how many I've got.
I think it is 0.1. It's equivalent to 0.1%.
For every 1,000?
Yeah, I think 1 Twitch per 1,000 on Twitter is roughly equivalent. Because, Pat has around 60K, and his streams get around 500 to 1,000 views. So, to me, the math is roughly the same. In mine, I have 3,000, and my average stream is about 3. So think about it. It's math.
I want to do a special shout out because I keep forgetting every week to @Makoto Sucks on Twitter for always retweeting the podcast episodes.
Yeah, no, that's great. Anyone that retweets the things that I forget to post sometimes, you're a hero. So it's weird because now we actually have Drew on video phone, and it's weird to me. Even though I stream myself on the internet by having people look at me.
Yeah, I keep having to... For some reason, my brain keeps trying to interpret the video phone as us being recorded video, on video for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Oh, I can do that.
No.
Yeah, I can click. No. I can turn on the computer.
No, I want people to see the dumpster.
Well,
not this dumpster, that dumpster.
Yeah.
Now, see, if we did that, though, they'd get the wrong impression that the painting that's in shot is the haunted painting, and they'd be very confused.
No, that's a fine painting. That's just my calm beach. I like that. Yeah. That was the painting that my mom, she was like, she wanted me to pick out a painting to have in my apartment, and that's the one I picked out because it's nice. I like it.
Did she paint it?
No. She just bought it. There's like a couple of them that she was like, I want to get it. And I'm like, no, that's the one. And I've always liked that painting. It's not clearly haunted.
No,
it's nice. It's nice. I like the brush strokes. I like you can see them. I like that painting. I like it.
I once had a picture of a painting of a flower vase that I got because I found it at the dumpster when I was working at GK.
No,
it was just propped up next to it from one of the many businesses that failed in that building.
Yeah, it's cursed.
So I was just like, this is in good shape. It's not touching any of the garbage.
I don't think it's cursed. I think it's just a poor economy.
I don't know how I feel about apartment and home decorations. I'm just sort of like, I'm glad I'm not the person that has anime and video game stuff posted around. Yeah. I'm
just under the TV.
Yeah, that's my area.
Just a few plushies and a nightmare.
Yeah, my amiibos were there, but I brought them over because we were doing Fire Emblem. Well, my dad was playing Fire Emblem, and you can get free items by putting them. I just haven't brought them back. I also need the dust. I did buy a duster.
Yeah, you can still see where the
Yeah, I need to dust that. I just don't blame. My house chores, I can only do one at a time. I'm like, all right, this week will be toilet, and then I'll do toilets, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And then dust is always so low, and now I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. I should really dust it. Or I could sit on the couch and do nothing. I'm like, that's been my home situation.
Sit and mindlessly browse the internet a while.
Oh yeah, dude, I love mindlessly browsing the internet. That's why I got started watching BarbecuePitBoys.com. So Barbecue Pit Boys is just these kind of old biker guys.
Like rednecky biker guys?
Yeah, kind of rednecky biker guys.
The people you would expect to be called Barbecue Pit Boys.
Yeah. Well, you would expect them to be somewhat either racist and or like fascist, some kind of bad, but they're not.
At least as far as we can tell.
At least
remember Duck Dynasty.
Well, I would describe them as, from what I can tell and what I hope, is that kind of Duck Dynasty, but with no prejudices, and they're mostly harmless. They seem to be just about grilling in the backyard, and I'm kind of it's that kind of purity of it's that tenseness of, is this going to go bad? And like, we support all holidays, you just get yourself something good by the pit with your love. And you're just like, okay.
That's one of the big drawing factors to Letterkenny.
Yeah.
It's like that same hickish, redneckish attitude, but then they're just open and accepting of other cultures.
You know what is just the worst? The homophobes. It's like, yeah, Dan, they are the worst. Thank you.
I like that tone. I like that tone of you're expecting it to go wrong, but no, it's just fine. It's still kind of unpleasant. As I showed Cody, them making cigar-ash barbecue sauce, where they were just putting cigar butts in a big old pot and putting a barbecue sauce on it.
Not cigarette ash. No, that's trashy. You need the good cigar ash.
And
your favorite bottle of barbecue sauce, and you just mix that right up.
Listen, you can use a bunch of seasoning, but we here at Barbecue Pit use SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. That's all you need.
I can agree with that. That's all you need. Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder.
That's what they call it, SPG. And then I don't want, do not get into the comments and ruin my innocence and say the Barbecue Pit Boys showed up at a Trump rally or something. I'm like, no! That'd ruin my day. I wouldn't be surprised, but it would ruin my day.
Today is not the day where we want that fact confirmed.
No, I want to live in ignorance at least for a couple months. Then I need to be in a good spot. All right. Are we? Yeah, 9 minutes in.
Are they BOYS or BOIS?
Why?
Okay.
No, they're not the Proud Boys.
No.
Those are bad. That made me. I was nervous when I first watched it because I thought it was some kind of spinoff, but no, it seems to be just this kind of old biker man who gets kind of vaguely aroused talking about hamburgers. Or he's like, "Oh yeah, you put the cheese in the burger, and now just eat it,
nice and moist."
And to me, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm fine with this. Because I understand when he's seeing a nice big burger. Oh, yeah, the bun can't contain it. And you're just like, And they keep talking about like the food police might show up and try to say, barbecue pit bulls, you shouldn't be doing this. You get out. Also, you Vegematics. That's what they call people that like the Impossible Burger. They did one where they made the Possible Burger. And it was just a big ass hamburger. Like they got they got one of those 2-pound thing of every one of the burgers. What?
It's meat. It's not an ass burger. It's a butt burger.
No, it's a Possible Burger. We went out to the grocery store, bought ourselves a big old ass of ground beef.
Big old ass of ground.
And made into a big ball. And they said, you get this Impossible Burger for $6, or this like 2-pound burger for that. Like, it's good. And you're like, you know what? It is good. They made jalapeno popper burgers. Their masterful trick is that they just stuff something inside of a hamburger and then eat it. Sometimes they deep fry the hamburger. They make the burger, then they cut it up into strips, they put it in batter and Ruffles potato chips, and then they deep fried it. And my brain was going, like the animal lizard part of my brain was like, that looks delicious. I want to eat it now.
Your super ego.
My super ego said, no, that will kill you. Like, no, just put the mayonnaise in there. I'm like, oh, I love the mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's go full existentialist. Just accept that life has no purpose.
Yeah, you eat.
And then you eat the deep fried potato chip burger.
You lost me at the mayonnaise.
Well, because they put a little bit of mayonnaise on the bun, and I agree with that. I think that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I will go on record.
Talking in like.
I will go on record. Oh, you go.
When you're talking in terms of like ass loads of meat, I just assume it's going to be ass loads of mayonnaise too to go with it.
No. See, the barbecue pit boys understand. They seem to understand that you put a thin layer of mayonnaise as one of the condiments to kind of give it a little bit of moisture as the proper use of mayonnaise.
It's just you don't want globs and globs.
No, you want a little bit of mayonnaise is fine.
Just enough to lube it up.
That's its purpose.
Help it get down the throat.
To me, if you're tasting the mayonnaise, it's too much mayonnaise.
I want a hint of the taste.
Okay, so that I'll fine.
But then again, that kind of depends on the brand of mayo. Like I don't know which mayo they use over at Greg's on their sandwiches, but it's good mayo.
Well, there's different.
They also slap it on.
Yeah, it depends. Like, because there's different. I like a little bit of mayonnaise on stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think mayonnaise can save a sandwich.
A good mayo.
It was
well, good condiments in general.
Yeah, let's just leave. It's kind of like I like ketchup and mustard, but I'm not going to take like a spoonful of ketchup and eat it.
No.
I'm not going to be like the glutton bowl and eat 3 pounds of mayonnaise.
You're just going to do a shot of ketchup.
I wouldn't do that.
You have done that.
I did do. Did I?
Remember doing ketchup shots out of packs?
Oh. Yeah, that's fine.
I wouldn't do that.
That's in my younger days, in my high school days, when I took one of the Papa John's garlic sauces at a party to show how cool I was. I shook it up, popped it, and I drank all of it. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And it was pretty good until it wasn't about 15 minutes later.
And you were still tasting it.
When it hit the stomach, it was like a reaction. Like it was. I would drink and I was like, ha, I'm cool, aren't I?
You just drink butter.
And it was like, I'm like, oh. It was that kind of like cartoon where you could feel your stomach making waves and gurgles.
It's coming out bad.
Oh, it's gonna be bad, and it was bad. It was very bad.
I was actually saved from a similar fate when thanks to high school peer pressure.
Yeah.
In marching band, my freshman year, I almost drank a Chick-fil-A catering size thing of their Polynesian sauce.
Ooh. Yeah, you gotta.
The seniors were like, guys, don't do that to the freshmen.
I'll do it. I'm tough. I'm strong.
Oh.
I'm cool, marching band.
I would have been in like the middle of the show, just been throwing up red.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
No, Cody, you've been shooting it out of the trombone.
Having him yell. I hated marching band.
Yeah, shit sucked.
I hated it.
I loved orchestra. Orchestra was fantastic.
I think that's what made me quit march. Because I hated band. I was only in band because in 6th grade, all of my friends went to band. And if you were not in band, you were just put in another hallway. You're put in another cell block at Indian Trail.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be in another cell block. Turns out I was in another cell block. I misunderstood how things worked.
It's like if you're in band, there's like one of like 2 to 3 hallways you can be on, as opposed to just being any potentially where.
Yeah, and I was in Wolf Hall, and all my other friends were elsewhere.
I was Deer Hall.
Man.
Red Fox.
Man, Indian Trail. I think that was the worst time of my school career was Indian Trail. Because elementary school, looking back on it, was fine. It's fine. It's still school. It's not. I wasn't thrilled to be at school, but I was with enough of the people I knew. I had enough friends where I had friends in every class. It was fine. There was no real fights. There were people would get picked off, but there was nothing I would describe above a level of like recess kind of problem. Like there's no guy where it's like, well, now this guy's hospitalized or stabbed or whatever. It was just like well, some kid called another kid stupid and he cried, and then they got to recess. It was baby stuff. It was fine.
Yeah.
In high school.
Senior year in high school, I was talking with like one of my buddies, and we had been friends in like 6th and 7th, but then we got split up through like 7th to like 12th grade, basically. And like we were talking, he's like, "Yeah, we were like best friends in middle school." I was like, "We were?" Like thinking back, like in my brain, yeah, I guess we were, but it's like I just felt kind of bad at that moment.
It's like, oh yeah, like to me, high school was fun once I figured it out. I figured out high school my junior year when I quit. So I was in band for freshman and sophomore, and that was miserable. And then I quit band, and then I coasted. And I took enough honors classes that I was not with the riffraff, but I didn't take the AP classes because those were too hard. So I had enough where looking back, I understand, but I was coasting. It was amazing. I coasted my way. Most of my high school, I was like, yeah, it's fine.
I fucking hated high school. High school was the worst time for me. Like, each year was a little worse, because, like, all my friends were upper classes. It was like, you would... so, like, sophomore year, we had that lunch where it was like, you, me, Rob, and...
Brian, that was the best fucking...
That was the best lunch. We were laughing every day till we were crying.
I've never had a high school... Like, I remember... It was specific, and this is going to get... So, I'm both proud and not proud of this moment. I remember it clear. This is the peak high school. I will say the disclaimer, while I will laugh at this moment, my views have matured. It was when at there, we were talking about, in stupid high school conversation, why there were not enough attractive, mentally challenged women and girls. Do you remember this conversation?
Vaguely.
Because
this was not the direction I thought you were
going. No, that other one's too bad. That one's too bad. This is the one where, and I remember on Drawn Together, that night was bleh. And I pointed at the screen and we were all like, did you see? They know! And I was like, no, that was too bad. That's not for podcast. I'm actually
at a certain somebody.
Yes, I'm ashamed of that. I'm actually ashamed of that. I should have been better.
Because I don't think about it at all.
Oh no, but that's why that's too bad.
Thinking, you can be ashamed of it. You were already 18, I do believe. I was under 18.
No, I was 17. Because my senior year was when the lunch got bad because they split everyone up and it was just kind of me again.
I thought
one of those was bad. I had a bad lunch.
Yeah.
And I think it was senior year. My lunch sucked.
Well, I thought senior year was
because I'm senior.
I'm 2 years under you.
Yeah.
So I thought that was your senior year when we had the good lunch.
No, I think it was.
It could have been fall senior year for you was good, and then spring senior year sucked.
That seems more accurate.
Yeah.
That seems really accurate. Because I remember. No, yeah, because I had one. Okay, I think junior. Because my spring junior year was good. My senior year was good. The last lunch sucked because there's just no one.
That happened to me similarly because, like I said, all my friends were upperclassmen almost. So after my sophomore year, you graduated.
Yeah.
Then after my junior year, Jeff graduated. And Rob moved.
Yeah.
So my senior year, I didn't really have any friends left.
Yeah, I think that happened my last senior. So that last senior lunch sucked. It was just me alone. It was bad. I hated that lunch.
You want to know what really sucks?
What?
Like modern Science Hill, how they do lunches is instead of 4 separate lunch periods, everyone gets released to lunch for an hour.
So, like, the entire school is just lunchtime?
From my understanding, yes.
That seems like a logistical nightmare. As someone who's had to do lunch duty many times...
I don't think they're confined to the cafeteria anymore.
Oh, they just let them go?
I think they might. I don't think they're allowed off campus, but I think they're just kind of allowed in the school.
I think I would have liked that, honestly. Because
this opioid crisis?
No, because what we would have done is we would have found some tree somewhere, and we would have just hung out there for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered I stole so many chicken sandwiches from our high school. Because, I didn't want to pay for 2. So I would slip one into my jacket pocket, thinking I was so edgy. Oh, I was lame.
No, dude!
Was is not the correct there, but you know.
I understand. Part of me kind of gets the idea when you see like animes, like, man, if I could go back to high school, I could do different. I think if I went back to high school, I would somehow be lazier, and that's only because I know kind of how to do trigonometry now, so I would pay even less attention.
And, if I had the option to go back and redo high school, I just would.
And then your coasting would just even worse.
I'd be like, I paid my dues, I survived it, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
I might go back and redo college just because I feel like college you can do better and it actually make a good difference in your life, but high school,
I think the inherent problem with a lot of those is mentally, I am not 15. I am not between the ages of 6 and 8. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm a 30 30-plus-year-old man, and I think it'd be really weird because mentally I would be like it wouldn't be like, oh, I could go tell the girl I liked her. I'm like, no, that's creepy and weird.
Ugh. That's a 15-year-old girl. I'm not hitting on a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's gross. And the girl that liked me, I'm gonna be really weirded out. I'm like, no, you're a child. I say as like my voice cracks. You're a child. No. No, excuse me. I really need to invest in Apple. I need to somehow convince my parents to go all in on Apple.
Amazon.
Amazon. Huge. I need to put a.
It's like I might hate Jeff Bezos, but I will ride him to the top.
Listen, Mom and Dad, Netflix, get on that shit. I know you don't believe me, but I'm from the future. I've thought about how I would somehow convince my parents I am from the future.
Oh, I don't think you do it. I think you ask them to be like, I want to put some of my allowance towards a stock because I want to better understand it. And then you invest in all the stuff you know will take off.
I think if I just said that, they would know I'm from the future. If I came back and was like, Mom, Dad, listen, I know you think I'm going to spend this money on Duel Masters and Yu-Gi-Oh!
The first time you would have been right.
But let me tell you, right now, I need to put this in some kind of 401k. I need to really, when Amazon.com goes public, all in. I need to put all my money, I'm not going to college. I'm letting you know. Take all that money and put it in Amazon. Trust me, it'll be good. And then I think they'd be like, you're from the future.
You gotta prep for 2008 too. You gotta get ready for that market.
Oh yeah, well you sell off. Yeah, listen, there's gonna be a tech boom, then a tech bust, and then you want to get in. You want to get in.
Buy now, sell right before that happens, and use that to buy more.
Listen, not to be that guy, but September the 12th, 2001, those stock prices for airlines are really cheap.
Oh, I think actually 9/11 would be what I would use to say okay. I would write my parents a note detailing that. I would seal it and say, I'm from the future. Open this up on September 11th. Trust me. And then they'll
Do you call the FBI?
Oh Lord, no! Because you don't, because then they're going to know you're from the future. So my fear, it's like, if I have superpowers,
back then there were payphones. You could leave an anonymous tip, and it'd be anonymous.
But my fear is that I would use that, and then I'm going to end up in a government facility, like some black site, and they're going to be grilling me. I'm like, oh, I don't remember.
I remember that because it was really big.
That was everywhere.
I don't remember who the president was when I left.
No, they're telling me, how do the Saudis react to this blah, blah, blah incursion? What? Did that happen? And then another guy comes in and then shoots the man who told me, and they go forget that. I'm okay. I don't want to end up in some kind of attached to tubes as they're probing my mind, and all they're saying is it's this dog and Rugrats. Yep. There's nothing here.
What do you mean they're still making sequels to Yu-Gi-Oh? The hell the
Pendulum Summon.
What the hell is this all grown up?
Man, Kamigawa is gonna suck.
That was a missed opportunity. Flavor-wise, it's pretty cool, but man, the cards. It came after Mirrodin, which, to be honest, was stupid. Just stupid. That set was dumb. That's one of the most broken. A lot of people. So Oko is broken. Oko is broken as hell.
Which one? The one that makes the food token?
Yes. He's not art bound.
No. Well, see, that's the thing about. So Oko is super broken. Dare say as broken as Jace the Mind Sculptor. I would agree. But Mirrodin had like 50, Jason. Everything in Mirrodin gets banned. And
Mirrodin, Dark Steel, and Fifth Dawn.
Every single one of those, like, something would get banned, and then it's like, oh, now this one shows up. And then that one gets banned, and like, oh, now this one shows up.
It's only gotten better.
Like, a staple Mirrodin deck is still viable in Legacy formats.
Yep. I remember, like...
The artifact lands got banned.
Oh my god, the past. I remember... Because they reprinted Darksteel Citadel, the indestructible, colorless artifact land.
Yeah.
And I played a game, like I took some of my old cards, and I played a game when I worked with G2K against one of our regulars, who was like, younger, he hadn't been playing back then, and I still had all the artifact lands.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what the hell are those? They magnets! I was like, shit, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. It's busted. You want to have affinity and your land is an artifact and you can just put as many of them as you want in there? You know how stupid that is? And then Phyrexian mana is just also fucking dumb.
Yep.
Just,
it's like free.
Hey, it's free card. Hey, you want a free counter spell? Just pay 2 life. You put that in any deck. Any deck. You just put it in there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just stupid.
It's all in card games. Legends of Runeterra is pretty good. I would describe it as either the Mortal Kombat 11 or the fried pickles of card games. Because the first time you play it, it's kind of repulsive. Like, you're playing it and you're like, eh. And then you play it again and you're like, eh. Every time I play that game, I get a little bit more like, oh.
It's an acquired taste.
It's a very acquired taste. But once you acquire the taste, it's good. Because a lot of the stuff is just, it doesn't do random packs. It only does wild cards. So, like, if you can't buy packs, you can just buy specific, here, you buy 3 rare cards, craft whatever you need, and you get a lot of the wild cards, and it takes a while to go from the magic of, I do not want to craft my wild cards because I'm worried I'll waste them, to this game where, no, I just craft it. But once your brain gets over the hurdle of, yeah, I like this deck, I want to try it out, I'll spend 6 commons, 4 rares, 2 champions, and then I build it, and you're like, okay. Because there's enough coming back in. There's enough resource coming back in that it's like, oh, that's what it's designed to do. It's just in Hearthstone and a lot of those other ones, you would hoard that stuff because you would always be worried of, I crafted this mythic, it's trash. In this game, it's less like, it's fine.
I'll get it back.
You'll either get it back or you're not really, the mythics don't matter as much as the uncommons. One faction has counterspell. You can splash that faction in any deck, and you probably should because there's no specific mana. So it's Ionia. That's the best one. If you want my Legends of Runeterra tips, spend your wild cards to get 3 denies. That's the Ionian counterspell. You want that in there because of how the game works. You can keep some of your mana doesn't empty out. You have like 3 mana for spells. So what you can do is you can build up 3 spell mana and always have a counter spell on deck, which means do whatever you want. You can play your combo, and if your opponent's thinking, you're like, nah, counter spell. I got 1 on deck at all times. And it picks some situations. You can counter their counter. It's great. I like that game. It's good. It's good. Duelist died, which is sad. Rest in peace, Duelist. That was the best card game I've ever played. It just kind of... It
folded up.
Well, its support waned, and they overbalanced that game. And they kind of they went for that. What made that game good is imagine it was. Did you ever see or play Duelist?
Mm-mm.
So imagine you're playing a game like Magic or Hearthstone, but every card goes on a 5x7 grid and is like a tabletop unit.
Okay.
And what?
It's like Hero Clicks. It's kind of like Hero Clicks mixed with a card game.
Yeah. Right. And so it made it really complex because positioning mattered a lot in addition to draw. So you would have, and you need to have a general, which is kind of your big unit, or like a war machine warcaster, as it were, that could move around and attack, and only units could be summoned in connection, but some couldn't, and some had flying. It was complex. It was a learning curve, but it really felt like you could outplay people hard in that game. It was not, oh, my deck is the best, I win. It was, nah, I outplayed you because I kept your general to the corner, then made my flying guy just go woo right next to him and kill it. And you're like, oh, it was great. And then they overbalanced it, and then they printed 2 broken cards that meant that positioning didn't matter, and then they nerfed everything, so then everything felt the same. And then Hearthstone kind of got okay again, and Magic can't. It was unfortunate. It felt like
they got the Lemony Snicket.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like how Magic Arena came out, even though it has so many problems, and I'm getting back while playing that, you experience that Wizards of the Coast is always kind of a dumpster fire, or at least a monkey's paw, where every time something good happens at Wizards of the Coast, something bad happens. So, like, Magic Arena is great, and then they'll be like, you can't play the Brawl format unless you pay 10,000 gold or 2,000 gem emeralds. And you're like, that kind of sucks, and I don't want to pay it. But your game is still really good. Theros is really good.
I just don't understand, like, how cards like Oko get through R&D.
I think it's because Oko is not a problem if you're playing in a specific meta. Like the playtest meta, because Magic, what it does is it's a year. I think it's a year. The R&D is 1 year ahead of what Standard is playing. So they've been playing with the cards a year, and there are cards potentially they're playing counters to it that are 1 to 2 sets in the future, where this card is not a big deal because in the set after we have a bunch of exile crap that just kills it. It's fine. But for that 3 to 4 months,
it's just decimating.
Oh, there's no way to stop it.
So will they like unban Oko?
No. Well, have they ever? They usually don't unban cards except in other formats. They'll make the new little format and then it won't be banned. Now, so Oko...
Because it'll be like, man, this is standard defining, but it's nothing in Legacy, because Legacy has some real bullshit.
Oko is Legacy viable. Because it can come out on turn 2, and it's +1, which is can make artifacts just into a 3/3 elk. Which means all those busted, nasty Legacy artifacts just turn into a 3/3. And that's why it's good. It's because it can just say, hey, no, you don't get that.
Get that shit out of here.
Or I just get it's so that card, because everyone looked at it, it's weird. Everyone looked at that card and thought it'd be fine or good. I think it's because it's unassuming. Like, the abilities are +2 make a food token, which is just an artifact where you pay 2 life and you get a sack and get. So it's like, okay, that's not really good. Turn something into a 3/3 elk. You're like, okay, I mean, yeah, I see. And people are bringing up it's Beast Within on a plus ability, which is broken. That's a really good green removal spell, but it's not like... It's not, you're not playing that, because people think about it at all points of the game like, okay, so I have a 1/1 on the board, and then he makes it a 3/3? That's stupid, whatever.
It's like, no, but you got like a Blightsteel Colossus.
Oh, no, it's a 3/3. Or what it happens is people didn't know, because people were thinking like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. I have a couple stuff in that attack into Oko. Well, your 1/1 or your 2/2 isn't doing much when it can get +2 loyalty and come out at 6 loyalty. It's really hard to have 6 damage on the board on turn 2. And then its final ult is just, you get to trade an artifact for one of their creatures or artifacts, which is good, but that's not why you play that card. Why you play that card is just saying, you're an elk now. You're an elk now.
I guess, yeah, and if you think about it, it's like, you could argue, well, now you're making, where some Planeswalkers come out and they will create their own defensive wall.
Yeah.
You know, Oko's kind of got a problem because he's coming out and he's making threats that can attack himself.
Yeah. It's just what people didn't quite realize is
it's a 2-mana removal spell.
It's a repeatable. It's +1. It's not -1 to turn something into an elf. It's a +1. If it was 0 or -1, that card would not be banned. It would be
I'll
really
give it at 0.
Okay, maybe not 0. But if it was -1, that card would not be banned.
Yeah.
It would not be banned. It would still be really good.
It would just be every other turn, or you'd have to find some kind of extra shenanigan in there. But for it to literally just be every turn, I'm strengthening myself as I do this.
As I do, and it's the food generation was because you had stuff in Eldraine that could either use food into mana or food into stats. There was enough stuff that just said, yeah, I'll take that free food and turn it into something like card draw. I'll turn that food in. And it was because one of the problems now, at least if you want to play kind of a food deck, is the food generate. It's hard to generate food. Oko made a lot of food and made himself tough, and he would just go like, your goose that was this birds of paradise, but you have to sacrifice a food when you could just constantly produce a free food and get 2 mana. It got bad. It was but it's just
that's why I love top-down design.
Yep. But it's so unassuming.
Now tell me.
Yeah.
Now tell me how Land of or Field of the Dead got past R&D.
I think that's easy. Field of the Dead was designed for Scape Shift, which was an M19 card, which is you get to sacrifice all of your lands and put any amount of lands into play, which is kind of bad, except in Field of the... So that card to me was designed that you have a Field of the Dead and 7 or whatever lands, you play Scape Shift, you take away all your old lands, you put in your new ones, you get 12 zombies, and then you attack, because that was the deck. And it was meant to be printed because Scape Shift was going to be rotating after M20. So it was designed to say, here's this one card in the last set that was not played. We're going to give it 3 months of a hurrah. What they failed to notice is that they also printed a card called Golos Tireless Pilgrim, which is a 5-mana artifact creature that just says, get a land from your deck. So you can just get out that old Scape shit. You get out that Field of the Dead. And there's a lot of cards that let you draw lands. And a lot of cards that, once Golos also on the field, you pay the 1 of each mana and 2, you gotta take the top 3 cards of your deck and play them for free. And if you draw land, well, that's okay, because then your lands are making you 2/2 zombies. And then you have Hydroid Crisis, where you have all these mana, well, now I'm making like a 7/7 flying trampler that's gaining me 4 life and drawing 4. That was unintended consequences, where they intended it to be good with this specific card, and it turns out it's just as broken with other cards.
But yeah, that's what I don't get about R&D, is like, that's their whole purpose of existence.
I think it's...
So how do they not catch that, like, busted jank?
I think it's because R&D and playtesting are different. R&D... there's an article about that, where R&D is trying to make every card seem interesting. because every Magic set has 200 cards. So they're trying to make every 200 card either somewhat interesting or somewhat like even not counting what I would say the draft chaff of the 3 mana 2/4 like whatever. That's just
you're fluff.
Yeah, but just they're trying to make, let's just say, 100 of those cards interesting in some way, which means you can't focus. They're going, okay, because playtesting is supposed to figure out Oko Thief of Crowns is busted, change it. Where play design is going, we need to try to make Planeswalker 3 interesting. That's on the cover of the book. Fine, this is good enough. Now I need to worry about is this card good in Commander? Because Commander is apparently the most played format. We need to make sure that this card works in Commander, but also is okay. You need to make sure every rare or on-card mythic, if you draw it, you don't go, well, that's trash, and throw it away. You should go, oh, this has a purpose. And that's, so I don't blame play design for it. It's play testing. Those are supposed to, and I suspect that play testing's probably been cut. I have a feeling play testing is one of those things that when you're in the Hasbro corporate, you go, why are we paying 20 people just to play Magic the Gathering? We'd cut that down to 10 easy. You know? That's my internal theory. Because ideally, Magic, the playtest group should be between 20, almost 30 people.
Like enough for a solid tournament.
I think, and they should be, because that's all they're doing is running those cards. That should be their...
I don't know. I honestly think like 10 to 15 is enough, because that's enough people to be able to look at a blog, and like if they're good, they can be like, well, this is actually a worthwhile card, this is not worthwhile card. And then like...
Well, they have to play enough. It's one of those where, to me, you need 20 people... I think you need 20 people, and they're playing roughly 4 hours of Magic, and then 4 hours of notes. Where they're playing Magic the Gathering, let's just say, all right, we're going to play Commander for 4 hours. And then afterwards, we're taking notes. Did this card perform? Was this card good? Were you excited to see this card? Did this card just instantly win you the game? Yes, no, okay. And then that's every day, they just go, we're going to play draft for 4 hours. And then say, or maybe not 4, but just that's what they should be doing. But I don't know if that's what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know how Hasbro works. Did I talk about on the podcast how Hasbro acquired Death Row Records?
No.
They did?
No.
So... all I'm saying is that one of these Magic the Gathering sets is going to be sick. Yeah, Planeswalker Suge Knight show up. Nicol Bolas ain't nothing. Suge Knight shows up and runs you over with his car. That's what I want.
They do have vehicles now.
Yeah, they do. One of them's really good. It helped me in a draft. I've been practicing some Theros draft. First one, I went 0-2. Second one, I went 6-2. It's one of those where it's a weird draft format, because I did the traditional and the sealed on stream to middling success. I think there are too many rares that are traps in Theros. In constructed, they're not traps, but in draft, there are cards that I feel like because they'll be that's what got me when I did a stream of traditional draft is a bunch of rares started showing up, and my brain goes, ooh, rare.
You just take those.
You always take the rare, and then I had all this mana ramp for no payoff, and I had a bunch of archetypes that didn't make sense, but I got like 4 rares. That's really good in a draft. Usually you get like 3 or 2. If you get 2 rares on color, that's a great draft. I got 4 rares. It's just one of my rares was like play stuff on your. It's a 3-mana 2/2. Play things on your opponent's turn to draw a card. I didn't have any, and one guy made all my mana every color, but I didn't. Didn't really need it. I had a ramp card that was good, the Titan that was good, but all my colors were just kind of bad. There was like my comments just weren't there, and I think it feels like this is a thing where rare drafting, you cannot rare draft, but the temptation is so there because you'll be able like 3 things impact rare. A rare card shows up, and you go, yeah, I can put that in my deck. That's my collection. Yeah, I'll take this card, and then at the end you're like, oh, I got all this garbage. Whoops. Because some guy just said, I'll take the common removal. I'll take the common removal. I think flyers are really good in this format. I mean,
you always think flyers are good.
In Legends of Runeterra, the elusive deck, aka flying, is getting real complained about. Because you're getting a bunch of Hearthstone people, and people. So it's Legends of Runeterra. What's fascinating about it? Yeah, I'll go on about this. Is you're getting people coming in from Hearthstone, because Hearthstone's bad. Hearthstone has been bad for an entire year. If you look at Hearthstone, people are playing the Teamfight Tactics auto chess kind of version of it more than they're playing Hearthstone. Or it's a sunk cost fallacy. Screw it, we're playing it. So Hearthstone's been bad, which is why Magic's been on an upswing. Why Magic Arena came out at a great time. Because a lot of the people at Hearthstone are like, oh, Magic's there, I'll just play that. And now Runeterra is here, and everyone's like, ooh, Runeterra's here, I'll just play that. And you're getting people, so long story short, you're getting people coming in from Hearthstone that have never experienced flyers. And if you remember that first time playing Magic the Gathering, when some guy just plays, here's a 4/4, it's flying. You can't block this. They go, what? The board is stalled out, and that flyer comes out, and their brain turns off. Because, no, you can't just, no!
Yep, there you go.
There it comes, he's just attacking you.
You don't got any flyers or spiders or archers?
Yeah, yeah, all right.
I think worse than that is whenever they just play an early 1/1 flyer.
Oh yeah.
It's just like
there's a couple.
I attack for 1. Are we finally complete?
We're jumping at the end. Okay, good. Okay, just keep going in. You gotta just jump on in. Jump on, just have a seat. Nolan showed up.
Nolan at Nolan Line.
All right. Yeah, there's Drew. He looks in the phone just like the comic. All right, Nolan. So, all right, we're gonna have you do for the end of the game, for the end of the podcast. We're gonna give you the bonus round. We're gonna talk to you about the things we've discussed in the podcast and have your opinions and feelings on them. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, Barbecue Pit Boys. How do you feel about the Barbecue Pit Boys?
And their cigar ash barbecue
Their
sauce.
cigar ash barbecue sauce.
Never had it. So,
okay, so imagine, let me just paint a picture. You have these kind of rednecky biker guys. They're smoking good cigars.
It's but they're making barbecue.
Yeah, they're just making barbecue, and they put their cigar ash into a pot, then dump a bunch of barbecue sauce in it and stir it up.
No, gross.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Unless it tastes good, then it's okay.
Well, they say it good sometimes, but I don't know if it really good.
I don't know. Let's clarify one thing, though, because you said there were 2 disgusting parts to that.
Yeah.
Which is worse, the cigar ash in the barbecue sauce or the barbecue sauce on the deep fried fish?
Honestly,
it's the ash in the barbecue.
It's the ash in the barbecue sauce, specifically because while they're frying the fish, they're adding more they're using the barbecue sauce as an ashtray.
This is awful.
Yeah.
I'm glad I missed this one.
Okay. Yeah, that's the worst one. Okay, so now, topic 2. What are your feelings about high school, middle school, and elementary school, specifically lunches? We talked about that for a bit.
Okay. Elementary school, garbage all around, but I was a kid, I didn't know better.
Okay.
Middle school, still kind of garbage, but I knew. And there's usually one or two items. High school is probably the best. Best spread.
Also, question, did you go to Indian Trail?
Yes.
Okay, what hall?
What hall were you on?
We got a wolf, a fox, a deer, another fox.
Okay.
Yeah, represent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw them up.
So I thought I kind of wanted everyone to be in a different. Yeah, we talked about Indian Trail and how calling it Indian Jail was not completely wrong.
No.
That place looks like a prison.
It is.
It has cell blocks. They call them blocks. It has a watchtower.
You gotta get escorted everywhere. It's a prison.
I hated Indian Trail. Okay, what else did we talk? We talked about Legends of Runeterra. What do you think about Legends of Runeterra?
Got nothing on that.
Okay, we talked about.
I like League. I don't care about League.
Okay, we talked about Magic the Gathering for a long time. What are your feelings about Mirrodin?
It's just me glazed over.
Okay, good.
That's fine.
Drew, what else did we talk about?
No, it was like high school and middle school. Traveling back in time consciousness-wise and reliving your childhood up until modernity.
Yeah, would you do it? And with a prompt, what are your thoughts if given the offer, I could say, Nolan, through my magical powers, I'm going to put your current brain in either elementary, middle school, high school, or college-aged Nolan. I think you already are. Well, I mean, that's yes. Okay. So like, no, that's 2 years ago. What? No, that's garbage. Okay, so like,
I could do stuff 2 years ago, but yeah.
Okay, for like, do you take it? You don't have, or none of the above.
Here's the problem: I take it, but I feel like I'm going to screw it up no matter what.
See, so what we were talking about is one, the issues of going back in time. Or mentally, I am not 15 or younger or what, like, so all the girls, it's going to be feeling weird.
Yeah.
Like my brain is not going to be able to map on high school and or like if I am in middle school, I'm going to be like, this is disgusting.
See,
this is horrible.
My problem is like,
I'm an old man.
I'll be doing that and I'm like, I have to make sure I can get to my current girlfriend. Because that's the goal.
Like,
so you have to. So you're in there. Do you try to preserve the timeline?
That's actually one of the reasons that I've actually stopped having the time travel fantasies. Because I assume I could probably get to Ariel, my wife, the same as I have. But we've got a kid now, and having a specific kid. Because
oh god,
my kid is pretty great. He's like the chillest kid. He rarely throws fits. I love him to death. So
you have to get the position and the time for the sex down just right.
Precise.
Hopefully
he still outswims all the others.
That's way weird. That could be so weird. We're like,
I come out of it and it's like, this is our daughter.
This is our daughter, Jane.
Oh no!
No! I mean, I'm sure Jane's great, but no!
I didn't think of it because for me as a single man, I'm like, nah, that's fine, whatever. Yeah. I'll have those failed relationships. But yeah, oh god.
Listen, I'm glad you brought this up because for like a little while I've been thinking about it. I'm like, can I go back in time? I'm like, I'd have to make sure I am at the exact right place.
Because I was thinking about how my main concern was how to convince my parents I'm from the future and that they should invest in Apple and
that was my second point
and Amazon and I think my theory is that if 13-year-old me was talking about what you should be in, so I'm just telling you the joke here. Podcast listeners, you're getting a double dose. This is for Nolan. I would say my goal was I would write a note that just describes September 11th and seal it and say, open this up.
I had that exact idea.
This is my proof. This is my proof. So when you open that up and that happens, you'll know. Invest.
Mine was going to be deep voice call like the NSA. there's going to be a terrorist attack. And, like, as, like, a child.
So I talked about
and they're like, we don't believe you, kid. I'm like, I tried.
So my fear is that would happen, and then the NSA would find me, hook me up to some kind of facility, and then they're probing my brain for
time knowledge.
For time knowledge, and all they're getting is Doug and Rugrats and like
this is a bad idea.
And they're like, this is a horrible waste of taxpayer money, and that's how the recession happens. Because time travel, Kevin, all the money is being funneled into time travel, probing his brain, and there's just nothing there.
Oh, Kevin, the worst part will be as you're like left tied up to all the tubes, the man who's just finished the interrogation is walking out being like, time to invest in Amazon.
No, it's Jeff Bezos. Goes, yes.
Take the biggest bet on the 2016.
Walmart online, you say?
No, books a million online. That's how it started.
I would try to.
It wasn't Walmart. He starts as Books, and then he expands to Walmart. In fact, Books a Million somehow turned into Walmart. That's Jeff Bezos' plan. He only knows that because of my brain.
Here's the problem. I want to go back in time and do like the Marty McFly thing, but I cannot remember who won the Super Bowl for like the past 5 years. I'm going to bet on.
Well, so what you do?
Who has the book though?
No, all you need to know is if Eli Manning is playing in the Super Bowl, you bet on him because he beats Tom Brady. That's his only 2 wins is that he beats Tom Brady. I don't know. I don't think sports betting doesn't because the
like I don't remember them off the top of my head, but if I see the teams going into the Super Bowl, I'll know who wins out of the 2.
Yeah,
I could probably do that.
Yeah.
And you bet on the White Sox in 2016.
All right, man. Because Nolan is here to wrap up the podcast, we got to talk about that Fast 9 trailer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I saw that tweet and I knew that was coming.
Yeah, no, I need Nolan to be here to talk about Fast 9.
Okay,
so Han is back.
Yes.
Drew, you tried to like... Okay.
Yeah!
Okay, that's fine. Alright, so Fast 9, we're going to talk about it. So, what we find out in the trailer, Han is back. He just kind of walks in.
At the very end.
Which makes me think he is an android from the space future. I think Han... I think there's some kind of cyborg component to Han.
He's either cyborg or he's nanomachine.
Yeah, there's some future tech. Like the next version of Idris Elba, that's Han. Like how Idris Elba was like cyborgized.
Something's going to happen, and like there's going to be an explosion. Something's going to be shot towards Han, and you're just going to see.
Yeah, he's going to like
catch it with his robot arm.
Yeah, or he's going to like dodge it anyway, what we see. So Dom's brother lives in a cube and is Super Dom. I don't know if he is one of the Furians from Riddick. And are we going to get to the point that Dominique Toretto is Riddick?
My joke was going to be there's a time portal that they have to like stop, and Dom's going to sacrifice himself, and then hard cut to him in Butcher Bay.
Butcher Bay getting a surgical shine job on his eyes. Okay, I can see that. I can also see the Necromongers show up in Fast and the Furious.
They steal Michelle Rodriguez's soul.
Yeah, they steal her soul. Because you see there's that woman who's the Illuminati. They're just like a super Illuminati. What the super Illuminati is the Necromongers. So anyway, we see Dominique's brother do a sick ramp off a thing as a stealth fighter jet shows up and then like lashes onto it. And the only way Dominique Toretto can catch him is that he hits the NOS and then his car does a Spider-Man swing off of his car.
His car grabs
the wire. It grabs the wire like Spider-Man.
Only to release it at just the right
time to like do a Spider-Man swing.
Up on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Dom's brother, John Cena?
Yeah, I think John Cena is Dominique Toretto's brother.
No, it is. And I'm like...
That doesn't make sense.
They don't look alike?
Not at all. Well, that's why I think he's living... Well, because we see him, he's in the cube.
Drew and I don't really look alike.
But he's in the cube, and there's possible Necromonger... augmentation.
Okay, I have not actually watched the trailer, so I don't actually know how much of this is your guys BSing.
We will show you the trailer after this. We'll show you it. No,
there's also a weird part where he's on top of a sideways car and then another car hits
him and it doesn't look like it does anything to him.
It looks like he kind of stops it and knocks
it. That's why I think
down.
He's a cyborg or necromonger. Fast and the Furious is a very important
movie. This used to be about underground racing.
Yes!
No, this used to be about stealing the TVs with the VCRs at the bottom.
Yes.
Catch film. That's what the opening scene of Fast and the Furious is.
Fast and the Furious was a ripoff of Point Break, except instead of surfing, it was street racing. And now it is transformed into the greatest film. It's the full Saints Row the Third.
Yes.
It's the same. Because Saints Row starts out as gangland shenanigans and then ends up as the gangland shenanigans are fighting G.I. Joe villains, and the only reason that they can do so is the justification, we lived on the streets. So you see guys kung fu fighting and what? It's you stole cars!
Give car racing that...
Dominic Toretto against John Cena, and it's how? And he goes, I lived a drag race.
Listen, at some point in this, John Cena and, Dom and his brother are going to have a final fight, but there's the big villain. They got to work together.
Yeah.
They got to defeat it. Just like Dante and Virgil.
Yeah, exactly.
And then once they beat
are you saying that they're going to devil trigger?
Yes. Dominic's going to get the power in him.
Devil engines?
That's the NOS?
That's the NOS. There's one point where they just have a car with a rocket attached.
Yeah.
I wish I was making this up. I really do.
Yeah, this car has a rocket on it, and then they just show it. Woo! All right, we'll show you. All right, no, we're going to end the podcast here.
That's
so we can
it.
show
That's
Cody.
a good ending.
That's a good ending.
I knew this was going to happen.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.